ایکسیپٹ کرتا ہے اور نہ ایکسیپٹ کریں گے. مطلب اگر پہلی کی طرح اگر ابھی بھی سختی کر لیتے تو شاید جو لوگ کہہ رہے ہیں کہ ابھی بھی جس طرح پہلی کی طرح آئے, یہ پہلی کی طرح نہیں آئے ہیں. مطلب ان کو دیا گیا اس بار گورنمنٹ, پہلے جو تھے زور پہ آئے تھے یا جس طرح بھی آئے تھے وہ ایک الگ ہوگا. اب جب طالبان آئے تقریباً دنیا اس کو ریکگنائز کرتی ہے. جو قطر میں میٹنگز ہو رہے تھے اس کے ذریعے تک کہہ سکتے کہ یہ لوگ آئے. اور جو طالبان ابھی بھی کر رہے دنیا کو یہی دکھا رہے کہ ہم پہلے کی طرح نہیں ہے, دنیا کو یہی شو کروا رہے کہ ہمارے ساتھ دے دے تو ہم آپ لوگوں کو ایک بیٹر فیوچر بھی دے سکتے ہیں. گورنمنٹ کے لوگوں کو کہہ رہے ہم آپ لوگ ہمارے ساتھ دے دیں کہ تاکہ ہم افغانستان کو ایک بیٹر فیوچر دے سکیں.
As you all know, the Afghan government was sponsored by Americans, and also Taliban were sponsored by Americans. Everybody knows that the Taliban hit over the Kabul in 15 days in 3 lakh army soldiers we had there in Afghanistan, and special force commandos, well-trained, well-weapons. So there's much change in, before when Taliban had a government and right now. So there's much changes, but commendable change is in 19 decades they came and handed over the Afghanistan by force, and they were not letting the people to be in the market in the division of prey, and they were torturing the girls and harassing and everything. So they were on the floor, but they became fair. That was their reason. Now the Taliban totally changed. The only thing in Afghanistan that the people, they're not believing in Taliban, that's totally there's a lack of trust and lack of education, there's a lack of beliefs on them. یہ ہمیں سب کو پتا ہے کہ طالبان کتنی چینج ہے. وہ جب 1998 میں تھا یا 19 اس میں تھا تو طالبان بڑی لوگوں پہ پریشر کرتے تھے, زور کرتے تھے, لوگوں کو نہیں چھوڑتے تھے, مارتے تھے, اور اسی وجہ یہی بنا تھا کہ وہ فیل ہوا ہے. تو اب ریسنٹلی طالبان جو ہے یہ خود کو پوسٹ ماڈرنزم سمجھتے ہیں. ان کے پاس ابھی ڈپلومیٹس ہیں, وہ اب انشاءاللہ دنیا کو تسلیم کرے گی, اور دنیا کو تسلیم کرنا بھی چاہیے طالبان کو. اب جیسے میں نے پہلے بھی کہا تھا کہ اٹس بیٹر ٹو لائٹ اے کینڈل دین کاسٹ دی ڈارکنیس. اور سب سے بڑا چینج جو ہے انہوں نے ابھی پرشین کمیونٹی کو جو وہ اسپیس چانس دی ہے انکلوسیو گورنمنٹ میں. اور وہ اس سے کوئی بات نہیں کہ وہ لڑکیوں کو مطلب اسکول جانے سے روکتا ہے, وہ بالکل لڑکیوں کو بھی فیسیلیٹیٹ کرتا ہے اسکول جانے کی طرف. لیکن چیز یہ ہے کہ افغانستان اب بینگ از اے مسلم, اگر آپ سوچیں, میں خود بھی فیمنسٹ رائٹر بھی ہوں, لیکن اسکول آف تھاٹس آف طالبان جو ہے وہ ہمیشہ یہ کہتے ہیں کہ وومن سب سے زیادہ عزت تو اسلام وومن کو دیتے ہیں. وہ کہتے ہیں اسلام کے پردے میں آپ نے جو بھی کرنا ہے سو یو آر الاؤڈ. اب اگر دیکھیں کابل رپورٹ میں بہت ساری لڑکیاں وہاں پہ کام کرتی ہیں. کابل یونیورسٹی سے بھی فنکشنل ہے لڑکیوں کے لیے, اسکولس فنکشنل ہے. تو بڑی چینجز ہے پہلے طالبان اور اگر آپ کمپیئر کریں سو افغانی کو بھی چانس دینا چاہیے طالبان کو, تاکہ وہ اپنے ملک کو ریسٹیبلائز کرے اور ریشنل تھنکرز ان کے ساتھ دیں, انٹلیکچوئلز ان کے ساتھ دیں. اور ہمارا کوشش ہی افغانیوں سے کہنا یہ ہے وہ اپنا ملک نہ چھوڑ کے کدھر جانا ہے. وہ ماسٹر ڈگری ہولڈر یا پی ایچ ڈی ہولڈر ڈگری وہ یہاں سے ڈگری لے کے پاکستان سے یا افغانستان سے یا کسی اور ملک سے وہ مطلب پی ایچ ڈی اسکالر ڈگری ان کے پاس ہے, تو جرمنی میں جا کے کوئی سپر اسٹور میں بسکٹ سیل کرتا ہے. یہ اچھی بات نہیں ہے. اٹس بیٹر ٹو سرو دیئر اون کنٹری. سو انشاءاللہ I by myself before the Taliban I was totally against them. Right now I am in favor of them.
They all have talked about the change of Taliban, like they have changed. Yeah, they have changed in their diplomatic relations. But if we see from their ideological perspective, they have remained the same. They haven't changed. Like they haven't changed their extremist ideology that they had in the 1990s. And yes, now if the Taliban cannot declare themselves as a successor by these small changes. Now it's people who have been changed in these 20 years. So now it's time for the Taliban to consider the people and take them on board in order to get the recognition, in order to bring stability in Afghanistan, and in order to engage the people. So if they provide a platform or if they provide a ground for the people and get their interest, so I can say that with the mutual interest of the people, so they can run the government. Otherwise, I don't see a better future of Afghanistan.
So as Nakib and Ajmal mentioned quite a few times, the challenge of recognition. So this question is for you too. That if let's suppose if Afghanistan is recognized, the new regime is recognized by the global power, how will 34 million Afghans exercise their political and social rights? And what do you think that what will be the foreign policy of the new regime?
Sort of difficult question.
So, if the Taliban are recognized by the international community, there will be a lot of problems, including political problems and social problems. First, I want to talk about the social problems. The Taliban have already caged the media. They have censored the media. They are not letting anybody to raise up their voices. They are not allowing any person to stand for their rights, to fight for their rights. So this act of Taliban, it is same like the 1990s. They are not letting any person to fight for their rights. They are not letting women to participate in the government. They are saying that we cannot make a woman is a minister, but we can make a woman is a worker in the office. It's a kind of conflict between the people and between Taliban. The people will not be able to fight or to have a protest for their rights, and the Taliban will never be letting the people to raise their voice against the Taliban. It's a kind of big problem. And next, there will be no political parties, as they have already fled the country. There is only one party, Taliban. All the political leaders fled the country. And if they will be signed for some times, but in future, they will raise up again. They will be standing in front of the Taliban. And for them, as I mentioned before, one problem and one excuse for them to fight against the Taliban will be national flag. And and they know that the people love national flag and national anthem. If they lower the national flag, the political leaders will come and they will make an excuse to fight against the Taliban. On the other hand, the resistance force is still working against the Taliban. They are fighting against the Taliban, and they are motivating the rest of the countries to fight against the Taliban. Recently, the Mujahideen group's leaders, Mullah Siyaf and Atama Madur, and the former vice president of the previous government, they tweeted that we have the rights, that we are going to form a resistant council, and we have the right to fight or to negotiate. We have the rights. So in future, they will be facing the resistance groups as well, and the political leaders as well. Right now, recently, the spokesperson of the Taliban, they confirmed that the previous government members and the political leaders, they are not able to enter the government, the new government. They have confirmed. And they said that we have experienced all of them. We have seen all their activities, and they are not allowed to participate in the government. So one is political problem, one is social problem. In political, there will be no election. I think there is no word in the dictionary of Taliban. They came by force, and they claim that we have earned this government by force, and we are not allowing anybody who did not participate with us in the past 20 years. So they have eliminated the idea of election. They have abolished the idea of politician or political leaders. There will be no person is a politician in Afghanistan anymore. On the other hand, the resistance force leader, Ahmad Shah Massoud, he has also demanded America or Washington to provide him an office to officially resist the Taliban and to officially work against the Taliban. He has recently visited Tajikistan, and Tajikistan is they are supporting him because they have got the same ethnicity group. And Tajikistan has also informed the Taliban that until you do not participate and you do not let all the ethnicity groups to participate in the government, we are not able to recognize you as a legitimate government. So the Taliban needs to let them, all the ethnicities, to participate in the government, or else they will be facing a lot of problems. The ethnicity group there, the government now, the Taliban have, that is only belong to one tribe. There is no other ethnicity group in the government right now. So if the Taliban do not let the other ethnicity groups to participate in the government, there will be a big issue and a big trouble between Taliban and the social.
So if the Taliban are recognized by the global leaders, right, how will 24 million Afghans exercise their political and social rights, and what will be the foreign policy? What do you think, what will be the foreign policy of new regime?
We all know that internal policies shape our foreign policies. As I mentioned before, that Taliban should more work on their internal policies first, in order to like creating safe environment. So that will send a loud and strong message to the world. Like for example, in the short term foreign policy, they can opt this policy that they can build a bridge between the regional countries, and they can build the interest of the investors of the regional countries. But it all goes again. It all go back to the internal policies. Taliban needs to work on their internal policies first in order to make a strong foreign policy. Thank you.
Okay, so when you are looking at me, you can also answer the question, like what will be the foreign policy of Taliban regime? Yeah, regime.
Sir, could you repeat your question once?
Like, how will, if the new government is recognized by the global leaders, how will the people of Afghanistan practice their social and political rights, and what will be the foreign policy of the new regime?
According to me, there is something that the Taliban face challenges regarding to their recognition by international community in first. Secondly, if they would be recognized by international community, they have to obey some rules and regulations that according to them. So they have to remove these restrictions, these violences, and they will be recognized. And they have to change their foreign policy as a formal government. Like nowadays, all the countries are wanting them to obey and to obey those rules and regulations that are imposed by the international community, United Nations, but they are not doing the thing that they want a legitimate government in Afghanistan, but they don't act according to that. So they have to change their foreign policy, and they have to build a great bond with the regional countries, and especially Pakistan, Iran, and other countries in Central Asia. Thank you.
So basically on the question of foreign policy, I think that if the Taliban government include these 3 points on their foreign policy as an Afghan youth, I think that it's going to be in the betterment of our country. First of all, we need the foreign policy of neighbors first. We, in the last decades, we recognize or we can witness that there has been a lack of priority to our neighbors, especially our immediate neighbors, that we have close cultural ties with them. So this is going to be one point, and the second point is we have to give a good space, a good deal of space to the regional countries for the regional economic activities or connectivity, regional integration. And the third point is that if we should have a foreign policy that is open to the world, open to the West or even to the Eastern countries, we need an open foreign policy, because Afghanistan has been ravaged by war and civil conflict. We need reconstruction, we need development, and open diplomacy and impartiality, avoiding bloc politics or regional specific countries. So we can, if we consider these points in our foreign policy, I think it's going to be in the long-term strategic or economic benefits of Afghanistan. Thank you.
Next question is from you, Siva. In your opinion, how people-to-people connectivity between Pakistan and Afghanistan could be improved?
Thank you so much, sir. That's a really great question and it's a good question. I think Afghanistan and Pakistan people-to-people ties can be improved by an example that we have between America and China. We had ping-pong policy, diplomacy. We could have that diplomacy between Afghanistan and Pakistan too. We could have our own Celtic diplomacy. We could have our own cultural diplomacy. We have close cultural ties, economic ties with Pakistan. So if we focus on these kinds of diplomacy, that is giving the people incentives to, for example, engage with the other people in our country, especially in Afghanistan or Pakistan, we could improve the people-to-people ties. And also these exchange programs like alumni scholarship, they can be much beneficial and it can be much effective. We can witness, according to the history or the diplomatic history, these diplomats are going to work in a great extent. It improves the relations between Pakistan. It can improve the relation between Pakistan and Afghanistan, as it has done with China and America. They were so alien to each other. People in America were thinking that Chinese people are somehow very, and they're somehow very strange to Americans. But when they exchanged these exchange programs and they did ping-pong policy, that it leads to the close people-to-people tie between China and America. Thank you.
So, yeah, you want to speak? Okay. So, my next question is to Nakib and Ajmal. How the youth of Afghanistan wishes to be represented in Pakistan and specifically in the University of Lahore?
So the people or the youth of Afghanistan, they wish a lot of things. Personally, when I was in Kabul and I shortlisted in a scholarship, I was thinking I will be like a person who has got authority and who will be treated like a foreigners. But when I came here, everything was changed. The people were not even talking to us. They were thinking something differently about us. When I was here and I interacted with many people, some of them, they were thinking that Afghani will be keeping guns and they will be just fighting and they will be just shooting. And then I started to have connection and to communicate with the Pakistani people. As recently I left my Afghan brothers and I started living with the Pakistani, to make their minds that we are same like you. We have the same feelings, we have the same emotions, we are not fighting. We can love, we are honest, we are loyal, and we can treat the people as you are treating the rest of the world. So they are expecting a lot of things. Next, to impress the youth, the Pakistan government should increase the number of these scholarships. If they are now providing them 1,000, they should double them. Because the situation and the condition of Afghanistan are getting worse. They do not have any policy for the education. and they do not have any standard education. I think they should provide a lot of scholarship to the Afghan youth, and particularly the University of Lahore. If now they are providing 100 scholarship, I think they should increase the number of this in order to give opportunity to the rest of the youth to participate in such a top university. So I think they should provide some educational opportunities to these students.
Like throughout Pakistan, we wish, the one youth wish that they should be represented through a proper channel. We can say if Pakistan could have given a chance of Afghan council students. So with that, we will have a proper engagement with other students in Pakistan or with other universities. And at the University of Lahore, I wish, being an Afghan student, we could have a Afghan society here, so we could have practices our cultural and other things. So through that, we would have shown our other side of Afghanistan. So these are the two things that.
So coming to the last question from you all, when you all are graduated, how do you plan on utilizing your degree and experience, and how will you shape a better future for Afghanistan?
When I came here, I got engaged with different people with different mindset. Some of them were thinking that I'm from China. They were asking me, are you from China? I'm from China. Oh, I'm so glad to meet you. I tell them, no, I'm from Afghanistan. And they were, oh my gosh, you're from Afghanistan, so what? And no, I probably say I'm from Afghanistan. That doesn't matter. It matters that I'm here and I'm coming here and I'm getting something. It is my degree. I want to see the change, and that change could be me in the future as a leader. And I want to be the leader. I want other girls to learn something from me, and I want to raise their voice, because there are voiceless in my country, especially girls. So here, the University of Lahore is a good platform for me to get engaged with different cultural diversities and get known with people, with different people, with respected people. So I want to pursue my degree here to serve my people, to serve my nation, and lead them to a bright future. Thank you so much.
Okay, to be honest, I have an ambition. I have an ambition that Afghanistan should be prosperous, Afghanistan should be developed, Afghanistan should have close relations with its neighbors, close relations with and peaceful relations with its neighbors and regional countries. I have this ambition, and I am going to work after my degree on this field if the opportunities are for me to proceed. So I believe in this ambition, and I am deeply interested in IR. That's why I have chosen this field, and I am going to fulfill my ambition and work hard to achieve, because as an Afghan youth, I have suffered for a long time that we didn't have a good foreign policy, and that our neighbors, our immediate neighbors, our people, they suffered from this lack of a good foreign policy to benefit Afghan people and Afghan youths. So coming to the Pakistan, it gives me a great insight of Pakistan, how the people are there, how are the dynamics, social dynamics. I'm now familiar with them, and I can hopefully say that now I'm familiar with Pakistan. I know how Pakistan it is, and I'm going to be confident that I can build a relationship between these two nations and the whole our immediate neighbors. because we have close cultural ties and we have lots of things in common. We have lots of space for cooperation. Thank you so much.
Right now, I think I should leave the university and should start madrasa because the whole cabinet is full of Maulvis. The bigger the Maulvi, the greater is the vacancy they have got. So, to be straightforward, before 2 months we had goals, we had dreams, and we were following them. But then suddenly everything got changed. Believe me, on 15 August, when the Taliban took control, I just cried because for 20 years that we had our mind for the development of Afghanistan, for democracy, for the freedom, and for our own rights and our own dreams that we will be working for Afghanistan. Every time I was thinking everything eliminated. And now I'm just thinking that I have no goal, I have no dream to follow. And that day I just cried. I feel that I lost the most important thing in my life. Because the word made in our minds that the Taliban are just agents. They are just working like puppets. And they are not real Afghans. So thus I feel that I lost everything. And then I was just thinking, suddenly our national flag lowered. The national army collapsed, and the country name changed, and that affected me a lot. And I was thinking that I have no dream right now. I have no goals right now to follow. But if in future they give me chance as an intellectual, the first thing I will do to have a strong and trustworthy relation with the neighbors. And I will serve my country internationally. And in the former government of my country, they were just puppets. They were just controlled by the foreigners, and they were just due to their weak government, they made me to study international relations. They made my mind to study international relations and become an honest person. And to work for the freedom and for the prosperity of Afghanistan. That day I made my mind to study international relations and serve my country internationally and to bond my country politically with the other countries. And the main thing I will do is a politician in the future. I don't think they will give me a chance. But if they give me a chance, I will truly work for the development of my country. And politically, I will serve my country, and the conflicts that they have with the neighboring countries, I'll eliminate all of them. And I'm thinking that if China and Pakistan become our friends, why we can't be friends? We have same tradition, we have same language, we have same culture. Why do we have problems between Afghanistan and Pakistan? And I think these are the foreigners that do not want us to be friends, to be like a one country. We are Muslim, we should be friends. Who is China? Who is America? Who is India? We should be friends. We should be like brothers.
First of all, Najima mentioned about how people have been seeing her, like considering her by her look. We have Ali here who have been getting the same privileges of by his look. Sometimes he is getting features, free burgers in university. So the other thing is that, as Nakib mentioned, that we should have better madrasa degree there. So today we will have a higher posts than Afghanistan. But somehow Afghanistan belongs to us, and we are still hopeful that we can bring the change in Afghanistan, and we are the change, and we still have that hope in our hearts. After getting the degree and by seeing the current situation in Afghanistan, if it goes like this, so I would simply put my degree in a locker, as that will be of no use there. But somehow the experiences that I have got from this country, I will definitely share it if my country needs it. Thank you.
If you are graduated from here, how will you use your degree and experience to help shape better future for Afghanistan?
इंशाल्लाह पहले तो जिस तरह मेरे दोस्त ने कहा कि मदरसे की एक डिग्री ले लो, तालिबान यही चिल्ला रहे बार बार यही कह रहे कि आप लोग आए हमारे साथ मिलकर गवर्नमेंट बना रहे हैं, किसी को हम नहीं रोक रहे, लेकिन हमारी सोच में यही है कि पहले मतलब डायरेक्टली आगे विदाउट एनी डिग्री तालिबान आके मदरसे से उठ के और एक कुर्सियों पे बैठ के वो लोग आप लोगों को चिल्ला चिल्ला के बोल रहे, गवर्नमेंट के लोगों को बोल रहे कि आप लोग आए हमारे साथ मिलकर काम करें और मुल्क को अच्छा मुस्तकबिल दे रहे। लेकिन नहीं, हमारे लोगों ने यही सोचना है कि विदाउट डिग्री लोग आए और हमारे हुक्मरान बने हैं, इनको ये रज़म नहीं हो रहा। अगर हम कह दें कि इस चीज़ को हम नज़रअंदाज कर दें, हम डिग्री लेके उनके साथ मिलके काम कर लेंगे तो हमारा एक फ्यूचर बेटर हो सकता है। और IR में हमें यही सिखाया जाता है कि ज़रूरी ये नहीं है कि लोग जो कह रहे वो कर लो। IR हम इसलिए पढ़ रहे हैं ताकि हम आगे अपना फ्यूचर खुद डिसाइड कर सकें, मुल्क का एक फ्यूचर डिसाइड कर सकें। ज़रूरी ये नहीं है कि लोग क्या कह रहे हैं, ज़रूरी ये है कि हम पढ़ क्या रहे हैं। पढ़ना हमने आगे हमने अपना फ्यूचर डिसाइड करना है। तो इसलिए मैं कहता हूँ कि अभी फ़िलहाल उनको टाइम दिया जाए जितना भी देना चाहते हैं। मदरसे की डिग्री को हम इग्नोर कर लेते हैं, फिलहाल उनका अपना लीडर एक्सेप्ट कर लेते हैं। लीडर एक्सेप्ट करने के बाद अगर डिग्री ले लो, फ्यूचर में खुद एक चीज़ खुद बन जाओ, डिग्री के साथ बन जाओ।
As Nakibullah said that people of Afghanistan right now they're in such a tragic situation. पहले से सबसे पहले तो मैं कहना चाहता हूँ हमने कोई न्यूजीलैंड या जर्मनी या ऑस्ट्रेलिया की डेमोक्रेसी लॉस्ट नहीं की है, हमने करप्ट डेमोक्रेसी लॉस्ट की है। वहाँ पे जो गवर्नमेंट का डेमोक्रेसी वो एक किस्म की करप्ट वो डेमोक्रेसी था, ना लोगों को राइट्स मिलते थे। वहाँ पे जब पश्तून एंड ताजिक ये लोग हमेशा आपस में लड़ते थे, अभी शुक्र अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह ये कंसेप्ट खत्म हो गया अफगानिस्तान में। And I have such a spontaneous and autonomous feeling about my emotions about Pakistan and about my future. I was serving in 2017 and 2016 in Quetta and Afghan consulate. I am the first person that when Taliban take over the country, I resigned from the consulate of Afghanistan in Balochistan province. So there was a great scholar by the name of Hemas Hemasi. He was the first person, and I have the contact number, the message of him. He was the first person from side of Taliban. He said to me, "No, you have to continue your job here. We are Afghans, and we belong to Afghanistan. And the stability and reconstruction of rehabilitation of country is belong to the Afghans. We need such kind of intellectuals, and we need such kind of international countries." Once more, I think about Pakistan, this credit goes to all Pakistan, most people of Afghanistan who are educated in Pakistan. I have such kind of friends now there doing job in previous government of Ashraf Ghani, President Ghani. He was such a nice person, and Taliban is trying to recall him back to the country. Inshallah, he will be back to the country, and we have हम बार बार ये कहते हैं कि तालिबान जाहिल हैं, वो हैं, ये हैं, तो इससे हमारा प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व नहीं होता। एक नॉवल है थिंग्स फॉल अपार्ट दैट्स टोटली अबाउट द अफ्रीकन लिटरेचर। अगर हम उसे कंपेयर किए अफगानिस्तान की अभी मौजूदा हालात को, पहले हमारा मुल्क में सब अमेरिकन होते थे, बंदा फ्रीडम, वहाँ पे कोई भी फ्री नहीं था। अगर सब कुछ आपने करना था तो बिल्कुल ऐसे जब आप कॉलोनाइज्ड हो, अब शुक्र है हम कॉलोनाइजर्स को हमने खत्म कर दिया, अभी फ्री है। वेस्टर्न being a student of philosophy, and philosophy belongs to love and wisdom. तो मैं तो बार बार अफगानिस्तान में जो एथेंसिटीज ग्रुप बनते हैं कि हम रेजिस्ट करेंगे अफगानिस्तान के खिलाफ, वो तालिबान के खिलाफ। अब अगर वो रेजिस्ट करते टोटली आई एम अगेंस्ट थे। अहमद शाह मसूद का बेटा जो पहले अफगानिस्तान में था या वो हताम मदूर था जो भी था, तो उन्होंने क्या किया कि अब वो तालिबान के खिलाफ रेजिस्ट करने लगे हैं यार। तो मेन थिंग यही है हम जितने भी अफगानी हैं, for the first time I got a Germany visa and I resigned that, so I tell them that I'm agreeing here in my country and I will serve my country. So I got such a distance and I got admission here in University of Lahore. जब मैं University of Lahore की ये सिचुएशन देखता हूँ, अफगानी स्टूडेंट्स को ये फैसिलिटेट दे रहे हैं, फैसिलिटेट कर रहा है और ऐसे सोसाइटीज बना रहे हैं, ये बड़ी एक एक्सपोजर हो रही है अफगानियों का यहाँ पे, मतलब लैंग्वेज की वहाँ पे ग्रूमिंग होता है। यहाँ पे सारे इस यूनिवर्सिटी में बहुत सारे इंटेलेक्चुअल्स हैं माशाल्लाह। मैम राबिया शी इज सच अ इंटेलेक्चुअल एंड शी हमेशा अफगानियों को मोटिवेट करता रहता है कि अफगानिस्तान इवन फाइनली मैं ये कहना चाह रहा हूँ कि मैं जब भी इंशाल्लाह अफगानिस्तान अभी वापस चले जाएंगे तो अपने मुल्क के लिए वहाँ पे कोशिश करते हैं, अपने मुल्क के लिए खिदमत करते हैं और पाकिस्तान के लिए एक रिप्रेजेंटेटिव बनेंगे। अब दुनिया की जो इंडियन मीडिया है या और वेस्टर्न मीडिया है जो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट हमारे पीस को कॉन्फ्लिक्ट में चेंज किया और कि पाकिस्तान की रिप्रेजेंटेशन हमेशा अफगानिस्तान के खिलाफ वो नेगेटिव रहा है, जिसे कहते हैं तालिबान सपोर्टिंग द अफगान तालिबान to fight against the Afghan army। तो हम इस चीज़ को इग्नोर करने लगे हैं। इंशाल्लाह अभी हम सब इंशाल्लाह अफगानिस्तान की स्टूडेंट्स हैं, वहाँ पे चले जाएंगे और पाकिस्तान के लिए इंशाल्लाह सब कुछ कर लेंगे और फ्यूचर में भी इंशाल्लाह।
So you all have heard from the panel. Now the floor is open for the question and answer. You can ask your questions.